Good morning, everyone. My name is Neeraj, and her name is Dharni Bhavani from Sozala. Here we are in front of you to discuss the GD topic about uh, deadlines destroys creativity. It means that the deadlines will destroy the creativity of the person. Everyone has their own creativity. By keeping the deadlines, the topic is deadlines kills the creativity. Everyone has their own creativity, but keeping deadlines, they must be in struggle and they need to submit the work because their goal is only to submit the work and they are forgetting to learn the subject. By this, they cannot implement their ideas in the upcoming any projects or like that.
Yes, Neeraj, I do agree with you. Because of deadlines, everyone will try to submit that work before the deadline, but they won't try to be creative or try to do their work, do that work in their own. So I think the deadlines will destroy creativity. But some people who are interested in creative ideas, if they pen deadlines, they will also try to be creative. So is it depends on the person or personality. Yes, I do agree with all the two of you. What I think is that in deadlines, we will learn how to manage the time. We will come to know time management, how to complete a task within the time, and under the pressure, we will get some new ideas and some creative ideas so that we will do faster the work. Yes, I agree with you, but due to deadline, there will be positive and negative also. Why? Because by keeping the deadline, somewhere people may not think in a proper way and they will be in under pressure and they may not think in a creative manner and they always think only to submit the work and they not think how to submit the work in a proper manner. That may kills the creativity of the person and he will not submit the work in a proper manner and in a desired way. How can we decide it? Yeah, Bhavani. But when the person interested in creative ideas or when a person wanted to do the work by their own, they will always try to be creative. Even if there were deadlines or even if they were under pressure, they will always be in a creative way. So I think it doesn't completely destroys the creativity, but to some extent it affects the creativity. Yes, then, yeah, I do agree with you. When we have a lot of time, we do experiments like what if we do in a other way, what if we do in another way, and it leads to the decrease of the data.
Camera.
I do agree with everyone's point. The person who manages the time, they can will not be afraid about the deadlines. They can make their own deadlines.
And they are also in punctual. Why? Because some lazy people also may do work on time and they can do the works in on time. They may not be affected by those things. I do agree with yes, Bhavani, because when there is no deadline, they will become more lazy and they won't try to complete the work. So deadlines it takes more time to complete also.
Yeah, thank you for giving this opportunity for everyone.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashwini, he is Maui, she is Navya, and she is Sirisha. We are here to have a group discussion on our topic uh, deadlines destroy creativity. We all know that under pressure, everyone feels difficulty to think in a creative way and to handle things in a better way. But it depends on the one person's perspective and how one can handle their pressure and one can control their pressure and handle the situations. So creativity means one can think creatively if they don't
Before
think
the deadline.
yes before the deadlines because everyone feels that how fast or how quickly they can complete the work and there is a chance that if a person is so creative, he can think that he can how fast or how creatively he can complete the work within the time.
Essentially, getting in your point, not always working under pressure and the deadlines kill the creativity. But also, I mean, getting into the deadline of the work might also, some works require much time to make that work creative. Even though the time is provided, if it was not utilized perfectly, the creativity cannot be given as an output, right? And if you also ask me about the time management skills, even the creativity includes the time management skills also.
Yes,
Yeah,
how efficient they can utilize their time.
yeah, and it's all about the certainty he used to apply in the things while he was working.
Yes, as a best example, we'll take as we are a BTech students before the deadline. Before the deadline, we are happy. After the deadline is completed, we will be a lot of tension and lot of pressure. And after the deadline is completed, we can't sleep properly at night because it is lot of pressure. What others they're going to decrease our marks regarding that.
I say agree with you. Many people they just concentrate on the deadline and they'll just submit their work on or before the deadline. When people will not concentrate on that creativity, but there are both the positive and negative. Some people will concentrate who are interested in that perspective and as a students, we are well aware of the working under pressure because we have to submit the assignments, reports, and everything. So we are aware of the deadlines, and from now we have to manage our time, and we have to utilize the time, and we have to know that which work requires how much time, and we have to make a schedule of that. So it will decrease it will decrease our stress levels and pressure so that we can creatively put our thoughts into the particular work.
I think we have to complete our work before the deadline, before the day of 2 days before, so that we feel happy and we will decrease our pressure levels and tensions.
Let me include a point with yours. And if you ask me about this thing, in the profession where we are working with also plays a major role, right? And there are some professions, right? Where you will be keeping all your time in designing something. The graphic designer or the artist or the sculpture makers, they requires much time, and it deals and if you ask me, they mostly required most of the time in just thinking. Uh, though the time is provided, if you consider filmmakers, they require much many years and much more long time for preparing the scripts and the videography, right? Yeah, and what I want to conclude is that it's not always destroys the creativity in all the professions, in all the aspects, but when it is relative, it happens.
Yeah,
Is it
your
right?
point
Okay.
is
Your point is right.
Okay, let's. We want to end up our group discussion, and I want my next batch to continue this discussion.
thank you.
Thank you.
How many hours do you
Hello everyone, my name is Venkatesh and this is my team. Today we are going to discuss on the topic the deadline destroys the creativity. Yes, the deadline destroys the creativity because we don't have much time to think about the pros and cons of the idea, and we don't have the time, so we can't do the things creatively. So it is not the good thing uh, to do the things in a creative manner. So when you have more time, we can do the things very creatively. We can focus on the things. What are the advantages? What are the things we can add to the work, and what are the drawbacks of the work? So because of this, we can do the things very creatively and perfectly. When we have less time, we don't focus on the drawbacks and other things. So in my point of view, that's what I could.
Yes, Venkatesh, I agree with you because of the deadlines, we are totally focused on the time we are, how fast we need to complete our work, and we can we are we left our creative thinking because of the deadlines. Due to these deadlines, we can't able to think properly about how can we can change that some experiments or anything or projects, and how creatively we need to change that, and how effectively we can perform on this. So in my view, it may destroy our creativity, but it helps some of the people are like they are always interested in thinking creatively, and they are so much time punctual. They can do more works and more creatively.
Yes, I do agree with you. It has both positives and negatives. The lazy people will delay the neglect the work if there is no deadline.
As I agree with all your points, the creative people can manage their time and the work in the deadline. They won't worry about so much about the deadline. The lazy people are worried about the deadline, in my point of view.
I do agree with you, Saraswati, because when deadlines are there, we can perfectly do the work because we have a deadline. We cannot submit that work. We have punishment. So we have a deadline. So we can find a new creativity or else some of the work is pending, then the work is not done for any time. We always think about the work is finished and then submit that.
And sometimes the deadline also creates the creativity because when compared to the problem solving skills, we don't when we have less time, we are doing to think very creatively, so how to solve the problem quickly and less time. So sometimes it is also creates the creativity. It will not destroy the things, but we are all working under pressure, so we have to learn to do the things in under pressure. So
By
that
meeting the deadline, we can learn how to manage our time by doing the work in time. So this.
And it helps us to improve our time management skills and creative thinking.
By
So
pressure also, the innovative ideas also come under pressure also. By pressure also, they think more innovative ideas.
thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
People are usually